Ladies and gentlemen, today is not just another day. Today is an opportunity to rise, to take control, and to finally step into the greatness that's been waiting for you. We've all done it. We've all told ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, I don't have the time, or I'm not ready yet. But let me ask you, when will you be ready? When will the stars align perfectly enough for you to finally take that first step? And the truth is, they won't. There will never be a perfect moment. And that's exactly why you must act now. Excuses are easy. They protect us from discomfort, from failure, from uncertainty. But the same excuses that keep us safe also keep us stuck. The only way forward is to take responsibility. Own your choices, own your potential, because no one else is coming to do it for you. You might be thinking, what if I fail? But what if you succeed? What if the thing you've been postponing is the very thing that will change your life? Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that what you're about to do matters. We all want success, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose in our lives. But the reality is most people never reach their full potential, not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they choose comfort over clarity. So they choose to stay where they are rather than face the discomfort of change. And that single decision, choosing comfort, becomes the invisible wall that keeps them from the life they truly want. Excuses are the shields we use to protect ourselves from discomfort. I don't have time. I don't have the right skills. I'll start when things are less chaotic. These excuses sound reasonable, even responsible, but the truth is they are just sophisticated ways of saying, I don't want to be uncomfortable. Because clarity, true clarity, demands that we step outside of what feels easy and familiar. It forces us to confront the things we've been avoiding, to take ownership of our lives, and to make the tough choices that will move us forward. Clarity doesn't mean having all the answers. It doesn't mean knowing exactly how things will turn out. Clarity means knowing what truly matters to you and committing to it, even when the path is uncertain. It means being honest with yourself about what you want and acknowledging that the road to get there won't always be smooth. The problem is comfort is addictive. It's predictable. It's safe. It allows us to stay exactly where we are without the risk of failure or rejection. But here's the paradox. The more we chase comfort, the more uncomfortable our lives actually become. We wake up years later feeling stuck, frustrated, and unfulfilled, wondering why nothing has changed. The answer is simple. We avoided discomfort, and in doing so, we avoided growth. If you want to break free from this cycle, you have to choose clarity over comfort. You have to ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what's easy, not what's expected of me, but what truly sets my soul on fire. And once you have that answer, you have to be willing to step into the discomfort required to make it a reality. Maybe it means learning a new skill that feels intimidating. Maybe it means having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it means leaving behind a situation that no longer serves you. Whatever it is, you have to be willing to endure the discomfort, because on the other side of that discomfort is the life you've been waiting for. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they stop at the first sign of difficulty. They convince themselves that if something is hard, it must not be meant for them. But difficulty is not a stop sign. It's a sign of progress. It's proof that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone and into the space where real transformation happens. So, what are you willing to sacrifice? Comfort or clarity? Because you can't have both. You can't hold on to safety and expect to grow. You can't wait for the perfect conditions to take action. You have to decide right now that your goals, your dreams, and your purpose are worth more than temporary ease. And here's the best part. Once you choose clarity, comfort loses its grip on you. The fear that once held you back begins to fade. The excuses that once seemed so convincing suddenly feel hollow. And the more you push forward, the more you realize that the discomfort you feared was never as bad as you imagined. You were made for more. You were made to grow, to evolve, to step into your full potential. But that can only happen if you stop choosing comfort and start choosing clarity. No more excuses. It's time to move forward. Every single day we make choices. Some are small, almost automatic. What to eat for breakfast, which route to take to work. Others are life-altering. Whether to stay in a job that drains us, whether to pursue a dream we've been postponing, whether to let fear dictate our decisions. The truth is our lives are a direct reflection of the choices we make. And yet too often we give away our power by blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for where we are. Owning your choices means taking full responsibility for your life. It means recognizing that where you are today is not just the result of what has happened to you, but how you have responded to it. It means letting go of excuses and stepping into a mindset where you are in control, not a victim of your circumstances. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say, I'm not where I want to be because my boss doesn't appreciate me, or I could have been successful if I had more support. But every time we blame something outside of ourselves, we give away our ability to change. When we shift the responsibility to someone else, we're also shifting the solution away from ourselves. And if the solution isn't in our hands, then neither is our future. This doesn't mean denying that life can be unfair. It doesn't mean pretending that obstacles don't exist. What it does mean is refusing to let those obstacles define you. We all face challenges. Some people use them as excuses to stay stuck, while others use them as fuel to move forward. The difference isn't in what happens to them, it's in how they choose to respond. Think about the people you admire, the ones who've achieved incredible things, the ones who seem unstoppable. Do you think their paths were easy? Do you think they never faced setbacks, failures, or hardships? And of course they did. But instead of saying, this isn't fair, they said, what can I do about it? Instead of saying, I can't, they asked, how can I? That shift in mindset, taking ownership instead of making excuses, is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Every time you face a challenge, you have two choices: to find a reason why it's stopping you, or to find a way through it. The choice is yours. And when you start seeing your life through this lens, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission, for the right moment, for circumstances to align perfectly. You stop relying on luck or hoping that someone will come along and fix things for you. Instead, you take action. You step up. You do the hard things because you know that no one else is responsible for your success but you. Owning your choices also means owning your mistakes. No one is perfect. You will make decisions that don't work out. You will take risks that fail. But if you own those mistakes instead of blaming others, you gain something invaluable: control over your future. Because when you acknowledge your role in where you are, you also realize that you have the power to change it. This is your life. No one else is living it for you. No one else is going to create success for you. No one else is responsible for your happiness, your growth, or your potential. That's on you. And that's not a burden, it's the greatest power you have. So no more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect time, no more blaming the past. Own your choices, own your life, and step into the future you were meant for. Fear is the silent force that holds most people back from becoming who they are meant to be. It disguises itself in many ways: self-doubt, procrastination, excuses, but at its core, fear is the real obstacle standing between you and the life you want. It's not a lack of time, resources, or talent that keeps you from taking action. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. The tricky thing about fear is that it often feels rational. It tells us we need to wait until we're more prepared. It convinces us that now is not the right time. It makes us believe that if we try and fail, it will be proof that we weren't good enough in the first place. But fear is a liar. Its purpose is not to guide us, it's to keep us exactly where we are. Why? Because fear thrives in the comfort zone. It wants you to stay safe, to avoid risk, to stick to what you already know. But the comfort zone is not a place of growth. It's a place where dreams die slowly, where potential is wasted, and where regret takes root. If you've ever looked back on an opportunity you didn't take and felt disappointment, that's fear winning. Every moment you delay taking action because of fear, you are choosing comfort over progress. The greatest misconception about fear is that it must disappear before we move forward. People believe they need to feel confident before they take action. But the truth is, confidence comes from action, not before it. Every successful person you admire has felt fear. The difference is they moved forward despite it. They understood that fear is not a stop sign. It's just a test of how badly you want something, a test of whether you are willing to push past the discomfort in pursuit of something greater. Think about a time when fear held you back. Maybe it was a business idea you never pursued, a relationship you didn't fight for, a dream you let go of because the risk seemed too high. Now ask yourself, what if you had acted anyway? What could have been different? What opportunities could have opened up for you? The good news is it's not too late. Fear is not a permanent roadblock. It's a temporary barrier, and the only way to break through it is to face it. The more you challenge fear, the weaker it becomes. The first time you step into the unknown, it feels terrifying, but the second time, a little less so. And the more you do it, the more you realize that fear is just an illusion. One that loses its power the moment you stop listening to it. So how do you move past fear? First, recognize it for what it is, a defense mechanism, not a truth. Second, take action, even if it's small. Fear grows in inaction, but it shrinks when you move forward. And third, remind yourself that failure is not the enemy. The real failure is never trying at all. Every great achievement, every life-changing decision, every moment of transformation begins with someone who was scared but took action anyway. That someone can be you. Don't let fear steal your potential. Don't let it be the reason you stay stuck. Your future is waiting, and the only thing standing in the way is fear. Face it, challenge it, and move forward, because your best life is on the other side. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment to take action. They wait until they feel ready, until circumstances align, until they believe they have everything figured out. But perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that keeps shifting the closer you get to it. And in the pursuit of perfection, most people end up doing nothing at all. The truth is, progress beats perfection every single time. Perfection is an excuse in disguise, a way to avoid taking risks, facing uncertainty, or stepping into the unknown. It tricks us into believing that if we don't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. But the most successful people in the world are not the ones who waited for perfection. They are the ones who started before they were ready, made mistakes, learned from them, and kept going. Think about the last time you delayed something because you didn't feel prepared. Maybe it was launching a project, starting a business, or learning a new skill. You told yourself you needed more time, more knowledge, more resources. But what if you had just started? Where would you be today if you had taken action instead of waiting for everything to be perfect? Every great success story begins with someone who dared to take the first step without knowing exactly how things would unfold. They didn't wait for certainty, and they didn't wait until they had all the answers. They understood that the only way to get better, to grow, to achieve anything meaningful is to start imperfectly and improve along the way. Perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But failure is not the enemy. The real enemy is inaction. Every time you choose not to act because you're afraid of making mistakes, you're choosing to stay exactly where you are. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Progress, on the other hand, builds momentum. When you take even the smallest step forward, you create movement. You learn, you adapt, you grow, and over time those small steps compound into something extraordinary. The most successful people are not the ones who avoided mistakes, they're the ones who embraced them as part of the journey. Consider the technology you use every day, your phone, your laptop, the apps you rely on. None of them were perfect when they were first released. No, they had flaws, they needed updates. But imagine if their creators had waited until everything was flawless before launching. You wouldn't have the tools and innovations that make life easier today. Progress happens because people are willing to start before things are perfect. This applies to every aspect of life: relationships, careers, health, personal growth. None of these require perfection, but all of them require progress. If you want to be healthier, don't wait for the perfect workout plan, just start moving. If you want to improve your skills, don't wait until you feel confident, start practicing. If you have a dream, don't wait for the perfect conditions, take the first step now. The most important lesson is this: imperfect action is always better than perfect inaction. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be the best. You just need to begin. 1 year from now, you'll look back and wish you had started today. So stop waiting, stop chasing perfection, choose progress instead, and watch how far you go. There is something inside you right now, something powerful, something untapped, something waiting to be unleashed. It's your potential. It's the version of you that is stronger, wiser, more courageous, and fully capable of achieving incredible things. Yet for so many people, that potential remains locked away, buried beneath doubt, hesitation, and excuses. We all have moments when we wonder if we're truly capable of more. We dream about what life could look like if we just had the confidence to go after it. But then self-doubt creeps in. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if it's too late? And just like that, we settle. We accept less than what we are capable of. Not because we lack the ability, but because we let fear convince us that we do. The truth is, your potential is not something you need to find. It's already inside you. It's been there all along. The only difference between those who unlock it and those who don't is one simple thing: action. Your potential doesn't reveal itself when you wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't show up when you're finally confident enough or when all the conditions are right. It shows up the moment you decide to take a step forward, even when you're scared, even when you feel unprepared, even when you don't have all the answers. The biggest mistake people make is believing that potential is something external, something that comes from opportunities, luck, or circumstances. But potential is not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have. There are people who start with nothing and build extraordinary lives, and there are people who have every advantage but never fully step into what they're capable of. The difference: one chooses to take action despite the fear, while the other waits for the fear to disappear. If you want to unlock your potential, you have to start before you feel ready. You have to take the risk, apply for the job, start the business, write the book, speak up, push past the comfort zone, and believe in yourself even when doubt tells you not to, because the only way to see what you're truly capable of is to challenge yourself. Growth doesn't happen in safety. It happens in the moments when you dare to step beyond what's comfortable and test the limits of what you can do. It won't be easy. There will be failures. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you question whether you should keep going. But every single person who has ever accomplished anything great has faced those same moments. The only difference is that they kept going. They understood that failure is not a stop sign, it's part of the process. Every mistake, every lesson, every difficult moment is shaping you into the person you need to become. The only real failure is never trying at all. The biggest regret most people have is not the risks they took, but the ones they didn't. They look back and wonder what could have been if they had just believed in themselves a little more. Don't let that be your story. Don't let your potential go to waste because you were too afraid to see what was possible. Your potential is waiting. It's waiting for you to step up, to take ownership of your life, to stop making excuses, and to start becoming the person you were meant to be. No one else can do it for you. No one else can unlock it. The choice is yours, and the time is now. No more waiting. No more doubting. Your potential is ready. Are you? There is one undeniable truth about success, growth, and achievement. Nothing happens without action. No amount of planning, thinking, or wishing will move you forward unless you take that first step. Action creates momentum, and momentum is what turns small efforts into massive results. Too often, people hesitate to start because they don't feel ready. They wait for the perfect conditions, the right opportunity, or the moment when they feel completely confident. But that moment never comes. The longer they wait, the harder it becomes to take action. Inaction breeds more inaction. Doubt turns into hesitation. Hesitation turns into fear, and before they know it, another year has passed, and they're still in the same place. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who had everything figured out before they started. They are the ones who started despite uncertainty. They took imperfect action, learned along the way, and built momentum with each step forward. Because the truth is, the hardest part of any journey is simply beginning. Once you start, once you push past the initial resistance, everything becomes easier. Think about riding a bicycle. The first few pedals require the most effort. You have to push hard to get moving. But once you're rolling, it takes far less energy to keep going. That's momentum. It's the force that makes progress feel natural, almost effortless, once you've put in the initial work. Momentum doesn't just happen, it's built. And the only way to build it is through action, not by thinking about what you want to do, not by endlessly preparing, but by doing. Maybe you want to start a business, but you're waiting until you have the perfect plan. Maybe you want to get healthier, but you're waiting for the right time to commit. Maybe you have a dream, but you keep telling yourself that someday, when life is less busy, you'll finally go for it. But someday isn't a real day on the calendar. It's just another way of saying never. The secret is to start where you are with what you have. Take the smallest step forward, even if it feels insignificant. Because once you take that step, you'll realize something powerful. Progress creates motivation. The more you do, the more you want to do. The more progress you see, the more confidence you gain. And before long, you'll find yourself doing things you once thought were impossible. Action eliminates fear. Most of the things we're afraid of are just illusions created in our minds. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough, all of these disappear when we take action. Because when you're in motion, when you're focused on doing, you don't have time to be afraid. Every breakthrough, every success story, every great achievement started with someone who was willing to take action even when they weren't sure what would happen next. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created it by moving forward. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop overthinking, stop hesitating, stop waiting for permission. Take action now. Do something, anything, that moves you closer to your goal. Send that email, make that call, sign up for that class, write that first page, take that first step, because once you do, you'll feel something shift. You'll feel the power of momentum pushing you forward. And once you have momentum, nothing can stop you.